hurts us all.
More teachers getting sexually involved with students. We investigate how this keeps happening and what the state is doing to stop it.
Parents demanding answers after several claims of sexual assaults at schools.
It hurts, you know. You want to see her out there playing.
And a group of high schoolers say they have an angel in the outfield. Night Beat starts now.
AISD police answering to parents tonight. Officers are taking another look at 3 different cases of alleged sexual assault at 3 Austin schools.
Parents of a Lanier high schooler say AISD police closed their investigation too soon after she said a fellow student assaulted her in the bathroom in 2015. And in 2014 at Hart Elementary, a boy said a school staff member assaulted him in a bathroom. These cases came to light after parents of a 4-year-old girl demanded school police reopen their case, saying medical records showed signs of sexual assault. They say it happened at Boone Elementary, and tonight that's where AISD police met with concerned parents. The Night Beat's Tina Shively was there.
AISD leaders admit that police made a mistake in this case, but they had a meeting tonight for parents to let them know their children are priority number 1. 2 months after an alleged sexual assault, the mom of 3 Boone Elementary students, Kirsten Walker, is still unnerved.
Horrifying because it's every parent's, worst nightmare.
She is one of hundreds of parents who showed up at Boone Elementary tonight after it came to light that officers did not pick up medical records of a student whose family says she was abused at school. Do you feel like you got answers tonight?
Yes and no. Unfortunately, there was a lot that they couldn't speak about, because it is an open case.
AISD Police Chief Eric Mendez was able to share that while his team made an error,
those medical records were reviewed by the medical professionals assigned to the Center for Child Protection and as a part of the Child Protection team.
The case has been reopened to make sure there were no other missteps. New investigators and new doctors will now look over the documents.
We're not just investigating to determine if the child was harmed here at school. We're following through with the cooperation again with the DA's office. We're going to find out if it wasn't at school, where was it?
Chief Mendez promised to update parents on new information as soon as possible. For now, the teacher accused is back on administrative leave for the 2nd time in 2 months. At Boone Elementary, Tina Shively, KVUE News Night Beat.
Texas is one step closer to banning so-called sanctuary cities. Today at the Capitol, the House gave final approval to SB 4. It requires law enforcement to honor all ICE detainers and allows officers to ask somebody about their immigration status when they're detained or pulled over, as opposed to only when arrested. The measure led to a 16-hour, often emotional debate, with House Democrats trying to stop it before the final vote, but it ultimately passed along party lines. A conference committee will now work out the differences between the House and Senate version of that bill.
It's been 1 month since 16-year-old Bryn Ayler was killed in a car accident just south of downtown Buda. Her death rocked the Hays County community, but as the Night Beat's Chris Betts explains tonight, they're honoring the teen in a very special way.
Well, Quinn and Mike, take a look around me. The bleachers here are packed. There are fans lining the fences to watch this Hays ISD softball playoff game. But the one person who couldn't be here tonight is the one on the minds of every player on that field. It should have been the jersey Bryn Ayler wore on the night her team battled for a spot in the playoffs.
For us, it's a lucky number.
Lucky number 13. It was the Hays County sophomore's number, a number each teammate now represents on the field and in the dugout. After losing Bryn in a car accident 4 weeks ago.
It hurts, you want to see her out there playing.
Thomas Ayler is Bryn's father.
There's a hole for sure in our hearts and in our, in everyday life.
Her smile lit up the room. As soon as you saw it, you're like, oh, I for sure want to be friends with her.
Carrie Luke was Bryn's teammate and best friend. She says the 16-year-old with an infectious smile was someone you just wanted to be around, and an aggressive player.
She would die for anything, and she tried so hard to catch every ball that came at her.
Thursday, as Carrie and her team prepped for the big by-district game, she says they can't help but think tonight Bryn will be there too.
Last game that we played here, the scoreboard was actually 13-0, and as soon as we scored the 13th run, like a light shined in the outfield, and everybody thought it was her because it was like 13-0.
With the innings underway, the bases loaded, and the pressure on, there's Bryn's sign in the background, their angel in the outfield.
Just knowing that she's like here with us and supporting us throughout the way is what helps us get there.
Bryn's jersey now rests on her father's lap while he cheers on his daughter's team, and his daughter watches over the players. A scholarship has been set up in Bryn's name now to help other young athletes just like her. And to find out more information about that, you can click on this story on KVUE.com. Reporting in Hays County, Chris Betts, KVUE News Night Beat.
Breaking news right now at 10. Police are in a SWAT standoff situation in Cedar Park. SWAT teams were called out to the Muir Lake Apartments on Avery Ranch Boulevard near US 183 and Lakeline Boulevard. We have a crew on the way, and we'll bring you the latest.
President Trump says his tax plan will pay for itself with the economic growth the cuts will bring. But experts say that's never happened. The huge tax cuts under Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush contributed to years of deficits. The president's overhaul includes raising the standard deduction to $24,000, and that could provide significant tax relief to middle-income families. But whether they pay more or less depends largely on details that have yet to be released.
It's trending across Texas tonight. A Lufkin kindergarten teacher is accused of having sex with 4 high schoolers on multiple occasions. She joins hundreds of other teachers accused of preying on teens. And right now, the number of investigations into inappropriate student-teacher relationships are the highest it's ever been. And state officials say they're increasing at an alarming rate. So how does this keep happening? In a Defender's investigation, Christy Millward shows us why seemingly everyone, from state leaders to fellow teachers, is fed up with the trend.
Mike and Quita, we dug into the data, and in the past 2.5 years, the Texas Education Agency has investigated more than 700 cases of inappropriate relationships in the state. Of those, we found at least 30 were right here in Central Texas.
You need to recheck. Just because you've changed the words doesn't mean what you've written has made sense.
4th grade teacher Stephanie Stobie works to inspire her students.
I love teaching. I love to teach.
She's won the Texas Secondary Teacher of the Year award, was a finalist for the HEB Teacher of the Year, and had a 100% pass rate for the STAR test.
I work hard. Long hours, after school, on weekends.
When Stephanie sees a snapshot like this of teachers just in Central Texas investigated for an inappropriate relationship with a student, she gets furious.
Most of us are like, why? Why go into education? Why go into a profession who's supposed to better a child, to make their life richer, and then do something which hurts them?
Like the vast majority of teachers, Stephanie works to make her classroom a safe place for kids, a feeling that can be tarnished when other teachers make bad decisions.
It hurts us all.
I think it is important not to paint the entire profession with that one brush.
Attorney Paul Tapp, who works for the Association of Texas Professional Educators, says there are almost 400,000 teachers in the state and says it's a small number who cross the line, but agrees that number is still too high.
Certainly one case is one case too many.
There are cases that go to Doug Phillips, the Director of Educator Investigations for the TEA.
You'll see it across the board, from West Texas to East Texas to large schools and small schools. Some really small schools. Nobody's immune from this.
The education agency reports there are more of these cases each year. For the 2008 to 2009 school year, TEA investigated 123 cases statewide of inappropriate relationships between a student and educator. The following year, 141. It increased every year until the highest number in the 2015 to 2016 school year of 222. Already this school year to date, they've seen 159 cases. And here's something all you parents need to know. Phillips says a vast majority of these relationships, as much as 90% of them, start through texting or social media.
My feeling is that over the years, the ability to use electronic and social media has certainly created a situation where it's easier to become involved in these sorts of inappropriate relationship and engage in inappropriate behavior.
And the TEA doesn't have enough people to investigate all these cases. As an emergency item, they're asking lawmakers for almost $400,000 to add more investigators.
Our whole goal here is to make sure we keep kids safe.
And getting to each case and resolving it is critical to protecting kids, because unresolved cases sometimes mean the accused teacher can stay on the job waiting for the investigation. Phillips added that while texting and social media is driving the increase in inappropriate teacher-student relationships, it also helps solve these cases.
It leaves a trail.
A trail he says everyone now seems eager to find and stop.
I think we're seeing a shift here now where there's more reporting by districts, which is a very good thing.
There has been a very definite push on every level to take this seriously. I think it's something that everyone does take very seriously. This isn't flying under the radar anymore.
Texas lawmakers agree. Several legislators have proposed bills aimed to prevent these types of inappropriate relationships, including Representative Tony Dale.
One way or another, we're going to have some legislation that addresses this issue.
The proposed legislation could do anything from require training for teachers to forcing districts to create an electronic communication policy between teachers and students to legally requiring principals to report an inappropriate relationship, which right now only falls on superintendents.
I think there's been cases in the past where the principals have failed to report it up, or it just gets lost between the principal and superintendent, especially in large districts where you have HR and other places it could get lost in between.
Phillips tells me the TEA is starting training in the Austin region on how fellow teachers can spot and stop these inappropriate interactions before they go too far.
We've kind of tired of just sitting back and reacting.
Teacher Association ATPE also offers a training for future teachers, hoping to prevent any inappropriate student-teacher relationship.
Well, of course, one case is too many. Again, anything that we can do that can stop this from happening is something that we should do.
Which brings us back to Stephanie Stobie, a teacher hurt by what is happening to students victimized by inappropriate relationships and fed up with the few teachers causing so much pain.
I get very frustrated after working so hard when I hear people in the community or people in society paint me as a public educator with the same brush as the less than 1% who have perhaps committed a crime.
Here's one more thing for parents to know. The TEA can only regulate teachers who are certified. School districts of innovation and private schools aren't required to hire certified teachers. So if your child goes to a private school, you may want to talk to the school about their reporting policies, because by law, private schools are not obligated to report any misconduct. Christy Millward, KVUE News.
A lot of good information in there. Christy, thank you.